The Flames continued their red-hot play, stealing 11 out of a possible 12 points so far this season. I had to bring in my good pal Ray to talk about it. Let's get into it. Welcome to the ArmChair GM podcast. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Man, we're doing all right, you know.
Been enjoying me some Flames hockey, I tell you that. What an incredible start to the season. Best in franchise history.
Yeah, it's been quite the incredible start, right? I mean, probably the complete opposite from what everybody thought was going to happen. So it's exciting hockey. We're getting exciting hockey either way, and that's exactly what we wanted. So I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously, we were not slated to start the season being what we are at 5-0-1, which is, I mean, we don't know when things are going to come crashing down. If things are going to come crashing down, who knows? But we're sure enjoying the ride so far. So, what is your take on the kids? Who stands out to you as far as, I don't know, the 25 and under crowd?
The 25 and under crowd. I'm just trying to remember. Is Kirkland under 25? No, he's not, is he?
No, unfortunately not. But that's okay. I mean, he's been a great story.
Yeah, for sure, right? AHLer. A couple of surprises, I guess, for me would be Zary. Zary's lighting it up. Essentially, 2 goals, 3 assists, I believe. Coronado seems to be doing well as well. So, I mean, a lot of the young guys that there was question marks about have at least silenced them for now, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coronado's really been on a tear. I've really enjoyed his play when, he didn't have the strongest of camps. I mean, he was okay, but not, in my opinion, he wasn't doing what it would take to start the season playing, and therefore he didn't start the season playing. Injury came through, and he got his chance. And I tell you what, he's made the best of it. He's looked real good out there. Gives you that 110% pretty much every shift, right? That game against Chicago where he just blew past Bedard for that empty net, really busted his ass to get there and make that play. I mean, that just right there is that's what the coach wants to see. That's what Huska wants to see from him, and that's why he's going to stay in the lineup. I think even when guys start coming back, it's going to be a real tough decision for Huska.
Oh, 100%. I would 100% agree, right? And I mean, these guys know well enough, right, to want to stay up with the big club, right? And they're essentially doing everything, like you said, that coaches and players and staff want to see from players that want, especially younger players that want to stay up, is that kind of that determination, that drive. Even when you say you're not lighting the lamp or incredible plays, you're visible on the ice, you're visible to the coaches, you're visible to the fan base, and so on and so forth, right? And that's ultimately what's going to make you stick up there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly it. You just want to be noticed, and for the right reason. Yeah, you don't want to be noticed for, say, game against Pittsburgh. I think it was probably one of Klapka's worst games. Coughed the puck up a bunch of times. He was trying to get engaged, but it just wasn't working for him, which is unfortunate because I think he's had a pretty good start to the season. He's been fun to watch, and I'm sure he'll get back to it. He just everybody goes through a game. I guess he's still young as far as NHL goes, and so we'll see where he ends up. But it's get noticed for the right reasons, which is exactly what Coronado's doing. Zari's been doing it for a year and a bit now. Pospisil, I really enjoy his game. He's another one, even if he's not on the score sheet as far as goals and assists.
Yeah,
he's on the score sheet for something. Whether it be hits. Penalties, I would like him to tighten those up a little bit, obviously, but especially when you're taking 2 offensive zone penalties in the same game, like that's a bad look. But I don't mind some of the ones that he's taken, you know, in the neutral zone or in our own zone. If it's going to take a guy off the puck, then fine. But he's one of the guys I really enjoy Pospisil's game. I love
Yeah,
that old style, that hard nose, gritty, you know, fight you in the boards and hit anybody that moves, right? You know,
yeah. Good old time.
I
Good
really
old.
like that mentality.
As handsome was to say, good old time hockey, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Getting in there.
100%.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with the possible. That would have been a bit of what would have been my first point there is those offensive penalties. There's good penalties and there's bad penalties.
Yeah,
Offensive zone penalties, always a
never
bad
good.
penalty. It'll never be a good. And as far as Klopka goes too, as well, like I spent a lot of time watching him on the Wranglers, right? That's generally kind of where
Mhm.
most my focus is with the younger. I like seeing them watching the younger guys come up and play.
Yep,
And yeah,
100%.
and I watched him in the A, right? I mean, that guy's such an imposing force, and I'm just hoping that he can bring that same kind of game that there to
Mhm.
the NHL, because I think if he really gets himself in there, he'll be a dominating force. He's so big. He's big. He's
Yeah,
strong. Yeah, I mean, he's got to put maybe a couple more pounds on, but yeah,
yeah,
I mean, he can be one of those guys, right? Bang it in front of the net and put it in, right? So we'll see.
yeah.
I mean, it's
I
still early too.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I think in a couple of years when he's able to, you know, fill out a bit, maybe put a bit more muscle on, become stronger, that sort of thing. He's going to be an absolute wrecking ball out there.
Oh, for sure.
He's able to push guys around in the A because he's generally dealing with guys his own age and or younger. Um, so the lack of, you know, I'll call it old man strength isn't really an issue down there, right? He can really impose his will on players because of his size, his height and his weight. And I mean, he's not that heavy, right? But he's big, right? He's just a big guy, and I think you know, I mean, what is he? I guess he's got to be like 235 though. So I mean, he's not light.
Yeah, well, usually you're that tall. You're definitely carrying over 200 plus. It'll just be interesting
Yeah,
to kind of see what they have him
yeah.
what
Like
they have
he's
him
not
weighed
going
in
to be
here at.
a Bufflin at 270, but yeah, that was a different animal altogether.
Oh, he is a big boy, man. He's almost well, according to the Calgary Flames website, he's 245 pounds.
Jeez ass. Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Did they
yeah.
weigh him with his gear on? What's going on? That seems
I have
heavy.
that. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, when you're 6'7", 245, though, I mean
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
carrying weight, right? Like it's just because you're so tall, you weigh more.
yeah,
I mean, I'm 6'2" and I weigh 195 pounds. I mean, so he's not
yeah.
far off. Maybe 10 pounds an inch, I guess, or
Wha-
something
is that what it
like
is?
that. Essentially, I
Wait a
think
minute.
close to it, maybe a little bit more.
There's another unrelated story. I'm gonna leave it alone. Um, but the 195 at 6'2" though, right? Like you don't like you're getting up there in age, so you don't have that 25-year-old athlete body anymore that you
Yeah,
once
that's
had,
fair.
right? Yeah,
That's fair because I was 170 something for forever.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Old age adds an extra 20 pounds instantly. I know that all too well. In some
You
cases, like
shrink and you get
30,
fatter, right?
35. What?
You shrink and you get fatter. That's how it works, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just getting taller laying down. That's all. Leave me alone.
It's all a matter of perspective, my man.
That's right. What is your thought? Because I don't think you and I have ever had a conversation about this guy. But what is your thought on Pahal?
Pahal? Oh, I like him. I really like him.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he's good, man.
yeah,
I think he's gonna fit in real well. I really like him. I like again one of those guys that's being noticed. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
this is a defensive core that doesn't have a lot of depth like we used to, right? Or in terms of names, right? Like we got Uyghur, we got Anderson, and then we got the rest of the boys, right? Essentially. So it's
yeah.
been nice to see kind of again, Conroy, clearly he knew something that the
Right.
rest of us didn't. So
It's
right, and
it's
his
pretty
game's good.
crazy.
I
Like
like him.
when I really like him too. Like when we got him, I'm like, nah, who is this guy? I don't know. And then watching him a little bit last year, and I was like, you know what? I like how he plays. I played defense when I was playing back in the day in my youth, and I played more of a like a 70s 80s style of hockey back then because that's pretty much all I knew. I got myself into a whole world of trouble with penalties and got in a lot of fights and all that fun stuff. So, but I really like that style of play. That just like he's really responsible. He's really good at getting out of the way of the goaltender so he can see the shot coming in.
Yeah.
But man, like he can just push guys around behind the net, and he hits like a truck when he wants to. He's just that that good old Saskatchewan boy, right? And
Yeah.
Dylan and
No.
I were kind of talking about it, kind of, not obviously not to the same degree, but he's got a lot of the Robin Regeer mentality in him, right? He plays defense, he gets you into the corners or behind the net, and he just punishes you, for even attempting to be there.
Yeah. And
Must
and
be
Regeer's
something to do with
hockey.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and Regeer's hockey IQ is pretty high too, right? Like, so it's like
100%. Yeah.
right, and that's, I mean, yes,
Yeah.
just it's been quite the surprise. Right? I had no idea who he was, right? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh,
Right.
okay, we're just another guy on the team, right? Filling a spot,
Yeah.
and then
Just
it's like, well, I'm pleasantly surprised.
yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. Like I don't see any world in which he's not a long time flame. Like at this point, I don't see any reason to get rid of him. He fits the mold as far as the age. That 25 and under range, which is what I'm looking for the team right now to be building into the future. And so I think if Conroy is smart, and which I'm at this point he's proven that he is. I think he's going to end up locking him in for a good number of years, right? Keep him around because that's the style of defender that goaltenders like. They don't necessarily like defenders that leave their post and start circling around the opponent's net. They like guys that can stay back and make sure that they've got the goaltenders back at all times, and that's the type of player I see from Braden Paul.
Paul, for sure, and it also with a player like that too. It allows you to kind of go after, whether it be through the draft or whatever the case may be. It allows you to go after an offensive defenseman, right? Like a legit, Eric
Yeah.
Carlson kind of guy, right? Because that he's got this other guy that's responsible on the back end, right? It's almost like, I wouldn't say like this is not a comparison, but almost like Tanev, right? Didn't matter who you put Tanev with, he was always the defensive responsible one, and his partner did particularly well on the offensive side of things, right? So
Yeah.
again, right, it's a good fit, and especially at his age, you might find a young offensive defenseman through the draft, and these guys might be playing together for the next 8 years or so.
Yeah. Well, I think that was their goal when they drafted Perek, because I think he's going to be one of those types of players. I don't know that they knew that Bahal was going to kind of start opening the season like he has so far this year and looking as good as he has. I'm assuming that they probably had Perek kind of slated to play with more like a Uyghur, or somebody, a little bit older, a little more seasoned, and that sort of thing. But yeah, he's been a bright spot from he's been with us now for what, like a year and a bit.
Yeah,
Didn't he come from Vegas, right?
he came from Vegas. That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, I've really enjoyed watching him so far, and I have that's my kind of defender. I'd rather have 6 Bahals playing on the ice than 3 Berries. In my opinion, I prefer defensemen
Yeah,
that can play defense.
100%.
Yeah. Anderson, obviously jumping up in age here, but Anderson has really come around because he had a real struggle for about a year and a half, or appeared to. His defense was struggling. His offense, his confidence, everything about his game just didn't look right last year. But he's really come around this year. He's looking like he wants to lead the team. He's engaged. He's dragging people into the fight, which is good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a complete 360 from last year and a half, right? I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we always knew that he was, better than he was last year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question there. But yeah, kind of see him turning around and and do really fucking really good things is good to see. Now I don't know if that's I don't want to speculate or anything else like that, but I mean, if we are going the way of the rebuild, I mean, get your stock up, and he's doing exactly that, right? Because a lot of teams are going to be looking for a guy like that.
100%. And if that was a conversation that he had with Conroy before the season started, hey, I need you to buckle down and get us better return or whatever, then good for him for doing it, right? And I'll support it. If that's the difference between getting a first and a reasonable prospect and instead of a second and a and a middle six forward, then I'm all for Anderson becoming one of the best defenders in in the West right now. He's really proven that he's back to form, which is good. His confidence is up there. You can tell it in his play. Like he's jumping on the rush all the time. He's super confident with what's happening with his game right now, and I like it. He's had a couple of egregious plays that I've noticed that have resulted in goals, and especially the first two games. But ever since then, he's really buckled down. Is looking real sharp. I'm liking it.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it too, and good for him, right? Like it's you always want to see guys succeed, right? And I mean, he's been around the team for so long, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of Flames fans, whether he stays or whether he goes, they want to see him succeed, and it's good to see him succeed. Yeah. So I'm liking it. I mean, he's leading the team too, right? In points. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah,
not bad for a defender.
Not terrible for a defenseman.
Yeah. Still on that steal of a deal contract, so it's so it's like what the hell? It's good news, right? Yeah, good for him. I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah, 100%.
Glad to see him back. And then and then obviously we got Weegar, who I personally think he's going to end up being the next captain of the Calgary Flames. Just the way he carries himself on and off the ice, he's the leader. I feel like he just has it in him. I really like him a lot.
Yeah, and he 100%. He seems to have the room too, right? And he honestly he wants to be here. He wants to be here to see this team succeed, right? He's essentially invested in Calgary's future,
right.
And that's the kind of guy that you want to be, when Backlund's gone or he retires or whatever the case may be, and the next captain of the team, 100%, that's the guy you want without question, because you at least know where his priorities lie, essentially, right? And that's the team being successful, and that's essentially what we all want, right? So 100%.
Yeah, I do like, I mean, not that he was having any struggles last year. I thought he was a really strong player for us last year too, but he just seems to have taken an extra step in the leadership role, in my opinion. When you got guys like Markstrom leaving and Tanev leaving and Hannafin leaving, obviously you're looking for that next guy to step up and be a voice in the room that supports Backlund or helps Backlund, whatever the case may be. And I think he fits that role very, very nicely.
Oh, 100%. Even when he engages with the media too, right? Like it's just he has all the intangibles that you would want in a captain, right? It's So I 100% agree. I believe that Weegar will be the next captain of the Calgary Flames for sure.
Yeah, I like it. The quest for the Stanley Cup starts now. The puck's dropping for the 24-25 season. Get in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. If you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
So that shootout victory, how shaky did Wolf look in that shootout? I feel like his nerves were getting the best of him, but goddamn did he pull it off in the end.
Yeah, he came through. I mean, shootouts are so tricky too, man. Like it's it's one of those things. But he handled himself well. I mean, he played a pretty good game too, right? Well, or he's played a pretty good series of games as of late, and it was good to see, because young guys like that too, especially, right? It's just that could make you or break you, something like that, right? That experience, or I should say, that experience could make or break you, right? It could really go either way, and to know that, okay, well, I'm not doing my team any favors here, and then to bounce back, and then help get the win. Then it's you passed. You passed that test, essentially, I would say.
Yeah, well done, Dustin. It was nerve-wracking there when that first shot, when they came in, that the first shooter, I can't remember who shot first for Pittsburgh, but I mean, he made that goal look easy, and I went, let's not hurt the kid. Let Dustin walk out of the building with his head up a little bit, right? Because he played a really good game leading up to that. Don't let him go out like this.
That's right.
I was nervous for him.
No, well, Well, he seems to be proving everybody wrong so far, right?
You know what? He's proven me wrong.
That's right. You were one of those. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, and I've always wanted him to succeed. I just, like I said, and I've said this to Dylan many times. Before this season, I didn't see that wow factor at the NHL level, right? Obviously, he did it in the WHL. Obviously, he did it in the AHL, but I hadn't seen it yet in the NHL. Now I'm starting to see it, and it looks good. Like he looks really comfortable out there. His movement and tracking the puck is unreal, right? His ability, he knows where that puck is almost all the time. Every once in a while, you see he'll make a save or he'll go off his pad and he didn't see which direction it went. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when they're passing side to side or moving the puck around in your zone. He just has this uncanny way to just get around people, to always be looking at the puck, and he's always square to the puck, right? He's never fighting the play. He's already where he needs to be, because he's good at anticipating where the play's going to go. But he's always facing the puck, no matter no matter where it is. And I love that kind of movement from him.
It's really cool to see. I mean, somebody that young have that kind of, I don't know what you call it, vision or whatever the case may be. Like you said, right? He seems to find the window long before anybody else does, right? Even on the offensive side, right? I would put it in the sense of kind of this comment would be, he's playing chess while others are playing checkers, right? He's 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
He makes his decisions and he makes them fast, and he doesn't hesitate them. And like we said, facing the puck, right? Now I don't know if that's because he's a smaller guy and he can kind of get down lower and kind of look through a little bit of a lower window, but it's crazy to see. But he was so good in the dub, and he was so good in frickin' the AHL. I mean, this guy's got no other option than to be an NHLer, right? Because he essentially dominated both leagues for the time that he was there, right? So, and you don't see a lot of that, right? You don't. It's very rare that you see a goalie dominate from junior to A to the NHL, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those, if he wasn't able to transition to the next level, what a shame that would be, right? To watch a brilliant career in two leagues coming up and just couldn't make that step. Like that'd be a damn shame. But thankfully, that's not where we're at with Dustin. He's making he's building a good case to be our number one next year, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Mhm.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
I
there's. I don't know who you would bring in at this point, even if you had a chance, right? You got a young budding goaltender. Like give him the reins. Let him ride.
Yeah, and this is the perfect time for it, right? There's no expectations, right?
Yeah, 100%.
My only hope is that they don't they don't let the other team shell him, and they can play defense in front of him so that he can feel confident, in the team and in his position, which is obviously been the case so far, right? Through the first 6 games, it's been really nice. He hasn't faced a ton of high danger chances, like next to none, really, in the 3 games, which is good. That just shows well for the rest of the team in front of him.
Yeah, we're still early too, right? I mean, he's gonna see it, right? I mean, you gotta.
Yeah.
The West has no slouch in teams. That's for sure, right? You got a high scoring Colorado team. You got when Edmonton's rolling, they're a high scoring team too. He's gonna see his opportunities when it comes to kind of like you said, the high pressure chances. But I think if he's got the kind of vision then that he does right now, I don't think it's gonna matter.
No, that's right. Even at that point, if we're losing games 3-2, so be it. You know what I mean? He's getting a good look. He's and it's just going to improve him and build him well for the future.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's like if you're not going to see a lot of goals go by him, I think that he sees or that he's ready for. And more or less of his goals are going to be something he doesn't see. You got a big screen, a good screen in there. He couldn't see the puck. He couldn't get his head around, whatever the case may be. I think that's where majority kind of. I don't see a lot of guys beating him like that with a pass across the zone because, like I said, he's already, from the looks of it, he's already 3 steps ahead of everybody else when they go to decide to make that play, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Even Dan Vladar has had quietly a really, really good season outside of the first 2 periods in Vancouver, which wasn't great, but ever since then he's been pretty lights out. He's played really well. So it's nice to have him kind of back with some confidence again after coming off that surgery, and which I guess nobody really knew, or at least fan base didn't really know that he had something ailing him like that required surgery. So that makes sense for the last season and a half because he's been plagued by it for the last 2 seasons. So
those kind of injuries, they're saying those kind of injuries for goaltenders too are a little tricky too, right? So I mean, it's you never know.
It's all about legs, right? Being goaltender, getting side to side and into position, right? And if you don't feel comfortable moving, obviously it's going to affect your game.
Yeah, this ain't the 80s no more where you can just lay down and stack the pads. Like you got to be able to move side to side in this league, right? Like if not, you ain't gonna last very long.
It's not the 80s where you just chew a couple of T3s and down a beer in between periods and go. They don't do that no more.
The old Tom Barrasso stack the pads. You remember how unorthodox goaltending was before Patrick Waugh? Like it was just bananas, right?
Yeah.
And then you got guys like which is funny because I was saying to my wife we were talking about Wolf or whatever. I was like, he's like more of like a refined version of Dominic Hasek. He's not flopping all over the place, but he's in position all the time.
That's pretty high praise. That's damn high praise. A more refined Dominic Hasek. I can go with that.
Even with Hasek, right? I mean, he refined his style of goaltending, right? And while it looked unorthodox to everybody else, it worked for him. But he was always in the right place at the right time. That's why guys were never. That's why you have to see his highlight reel has so many spectacular saves, is because he was Like he knew. It was like he knew they were going there.
He did know it, and I swear to God, I think he would purposely put himself out of position so he could come diving back in dramatic fashion to make the plays of the week on TSN, right? Boom, here's your TSN turning point, right? Back in the day. It's like, look at this dive from Dominic Hasek, blah, blah, right? There's always, it's like, where did he come from and why was he over there to begin with?
Right. Yes, exactly. Right. And that's what I mean by I'm not saying that he is. He might be better. We don't know, right? He's still a young kid, but just like I said, he seems to be there when nobody else thinks that he's there, or before somebody decide to make that play, he's already locked it in. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not many guys in the NHL that you can say are that not refined is not the word I'm looking for, but just I can't even think of the word right now. But
I think he's aware of his surroundings, right?
Yes, essentially, yeah.
He has very good vision and view of the ice. His peripheral vision is top notch because he knows when a guy is over here, and he can tell when the puck is going to him, right? And so he's able to move over there really quickly, and seemingly even ahead of the play on a bunch of the go rounds we've seen so far, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat indeed. So back-to-back overtime, right? Lost to Seattle in Seattle, and then winning at home against Pittsburgh. What did you think of that Seattle? I think you mentioned to me you just kind of caught up on the highlights because you had to work and whatnot. But I think you probably saw a couple things that piqued your interest in that game.
Just trying to think back here on kind of. I mean, these guys have been in every freaking game they've played in so far. It's just the complete opposite of what what most of us were thinking at this point, right? Like when everybody left and kind of took off and it wasn't going well for the last 2 years, and we were trading everybody away or whatever, we relegated ourselves, like, you know what, we're okay with this, right? Because it's something that we've never seen or whatever. But man, they've hung in every single game that they've been in, and not to take shots at the former Flames teams, but this team just doesn't seem like they have a quit button.
I had a friend of mine say this, and he wasn't like referencing much other than the fact that they just don't give up, and they're always well within reach of every game. Because it really reminds me of 2015 with Hartley, where there's no give up with this team. They're always fighting, they're always battling, they're doing the right things, and they seem to get better as the game progresses, which is nice, right? Like how many times we see, last year, a year before, first shot goal, so then they get down, and then and then they're fighting it, and when you're trying to come back from seemingly every game, obviously it wasn't, but when you're trying to fight back, almost every game, you just lose the will after a while. When you get 3 minutes into the game, you're already down 1-0. There's only been one shot. You're just like, fuck, again, right? And so you changes your mood. Where this team, they're happy. They're playing really great as a team. I feel like obviously we need that team mentality from these guys, but they're all having fun. It's bringing it through even into the veterans. Obviously, Longberg coming into the lineup is great because he's got that great attitude. He's always fighting hard for his team, and his line mates. Huberdeau definitely looks like he's having a better time, other than he had a real tough going against Pittsburgh on Tuesday night, and you could hear it even in the broadcast, him swear a couple of times, right? Because he coughed the puck up that had to be 4 or 5 times, right? And they were not good cough ups either. Like, it wasn't like an oops. It was like, oh shit! Right now we've got an odd man rush. Yeah. So,
Right.
but
Yeah,
other than this one game, like he looks like he's playing a much better game, and he's looking like he's enjoying his game and having fun again.
yeah. I'm not ready to say he's back, but I mean, like you said, it looks like he's actually enjoying himself, and I think for him, that's probably a big thing,
I think
right? And it's transitioning well, right? So it's
Mhm.
like whatever, bro, whatever you're doing right now, just keep doing that, because
Yeah.
that's the guy that we know when he came over from Florida. This is the guy that we expected, right? We all
Yeah.
know that he's not a big goal scorer, but you know,
I
assists, goals,
when
like just
when he came in, did I think he was going to continue with 115 point seasons? No, I did not.
no,
Did I think he was going to continue with his point per game? Yes. I thought he was going to be around the, 80, 85 mark for a number of seasons for the Flames. Obviously, it didn't go that way. First year was horrendous. Year after that was worse. Like, it's like, what the
yeah.
fuck is happening?
Well, I
But
looked it up. What is it? 52 points last year. Like that's
Mhm.
for him, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. He's been around way too long. He knows the game way too well to be putting up fucking 52 points and making $10.5 million, right?
yeah. Well,
Which
again, right? Like we
which I'm
just
not one to ever slate a guy for his contract. I won't do that because I've always said there's two signatures on that contract. You want to be mad at somebody, you be mad at the person that gave it to him, not the player that took it and isn't playing up to snuff. No,
that's
he was
right.
given that money. So
That's right. That's why nobody's mad at Bobby Bonilla or Rick DiPietro, because like you said, somebody else put a contract in front of that man, and
that's
they
right.
signed it because they were like, "What? Okay,
Yeah. Here, let me get a pen. Like,
yeah, here, let me sign this before you change your mind."
yeah, yeah. When somebody in the National Hockey League, when when a GM slides over a contract that says 8 times 10.5, you sign that shit. Unless you're Johnny
Yeah,
Gaudreau, which I don't want to speak ill of him at the moment, obviously, but the way that
yeah.
that ended up playing out was interesting. But typically, you sign that contract.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, he's doing good, man. He's noticeable in a good way.
Yeah.
Not where
Yeah.
is
In
this
a good
guy?
way. Yeah.
Where is
Yeah.
this guy? Why did you do
Yeah.
that? It's like, let's
Johnny,
go. And
we need you here, bud. Yeah.
come on, buddy. 10.5.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
you don't think that he's thinking about that? It's like every day he's thinking about that. He's like, man, if I
Yeah.
don't perform, these people are never gonna leave me alone because I'm making way too much money to be this bad.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Listen, we all know that going to the game live is way better than watching it on TV. So why not try the Game Time picks? Only at gametime.co. Game Time picks make it easier to save money on sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater, and everything else. Got all-in-one pricing, which is fantastic, so you know what your upfront cost is right away. You can look at seat views with panoramic. It's got the lowest price guaranteed. The Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Oh, it's game time.
And I
Yeah.
mean, we don't even have Sharky back yet, right? Like this is the crazy
I
thing
know.
is that they're
I
doing
know.
particularly well, and the guy is not, he's not even on the team yet.
And that's one of my issues, right? Where do you put him at the moment? Like who's coming out of the lineup?
Maybe just have him
I just
floating around like they had Kadri floating. Like that was like last night, right?
yeah
Isn't that what I was seeing last night?
yeah
He was
they doubled him up pretty good. Yeah,
first
he
and
was on a
fourth
couple
line,
of
right?
different ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a couple of different
for,
lines, which is good. But I mean, he's that kind of player. I think you could put him in that realm, and I think he would succeed. I mean,
mm-hmm.
what's the harm in giving that guy more ice time? Right?
Yeah,
More
yeah,
goals,
it's
more assists.
yeah.
Oh
Damn
no.
it. Yeah,
what a
damn it.
terrible idea. Right? So I mean they'll find a spot to slot. It's just a matter of who's gonna go down, I guess. Because I think
Yeah,
that's what'll happen. And I just hope that
I
it's not somebody that's deserves to be here just for the sake of making a spot. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think personally, in my opinion, I think, I mean, obviously he's not on the team because he's injured at the moment, but I think it'll end up being Honzak. I think of
Yeah.
the young guys that have been on this squad, he's made the least amount of impact, in my opinion. He's had some good plays for sure, but like for a full 60-minute game, he's young, right? He's still learning. He's learning NHL um, ice and players and formats and stuff like that. So I'm certainly not faulting him and thinking that he's a bust by any means. But I think getting medium to top line minutes in the A was probably where he should be suited at the moment.
I think so. I think you're 100% right on that. I don't think being in the big club, because he's so young, being in the big club benefits him at this moment in time, other than the experience of being there.
Yeah.
He put him in the A. Let's see what he's got. Let's see if he can start cracking and start developing, kind of like Zary did and Coronado, right? And I mean, if it works out the way that it did for Zary, or even Coronado as of right now, it's a great decision, right? Because now you're going to get a guy that's got the confidence, that's got all the confidence in the world now, and now he's coming up to prove everybody that I can play at this level. I mean, we're a long ways away from talking about Honzak if he's a bust or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I don't see any signs of him being one. I think he's going to end up being a really good power forward, and I think Flames fans are going to be excited to watch him in the next, next year and moving forward, for hopefully for a number of years, because I think he's going to end up being really good. And obviously he's not necessarily the pick that the fans wanted last year, 2 drafts ago, given what was still on the table. But I think he's going to be a steady force, a really good middle sixer for a number of years.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
At least I
hope.
hope.
Drafts are tricky, man. It's like anything.
Yeah.
How many busts have we seen come and go, right? Like guys that were supposed to be the guy, right? And just turned out to be absolutely.
Where's Sven Berchi anyways?
Sven, I don't know, probably somewhere in the Finnish Elite League or something. I don't know, maybe the ECHL. I know
where he's not. I know where he's not.
Yeah, well, what did we traded him to Vancouver? What did we get for him?
Like Fox.
We got something good, didn't we?
Was that? I'm trying to think of who we got. Klimchuk came from the Aginla trade, right?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna make me.
Now I'm gonna make you Googleize it, because now I'm interested, because I can't remember who it was, but I thought it was somebody decent. Not like great or anything, but
clearly
somebody that's still in the league. Tell me if somebody's still in the league, because that'd be even better.
All right, let's see what it says here. From Flames Nation. For a second round pick.
Okay. What year?
Does
it say I'm just opening the rabbit hole bigger and bigger here.
Second round pick in 2015 is what it says in the article here.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to think of who they picked for that. Oh yeah. Yeah. See, the article itself is written immediately after the trade, so it doesn't translate. Maybe. I don't know if I can find it.
Hold on, I'm looking. I got it. Hold on. 2015. You know who it was? It was one of the two. You're gonna love this. So it was either. Well, I guess it depends on what number it was. But if it was if it was anywhere above 60, it would have been, because it's 2015 draft, right?
Yeah.
It would have been either frickin' Rasmus Andersson,
what,
or Oliver Shillington. If it was under, yeah, bro.
Oh, so here we go.
Guess what?
Here we go. Eventually, Berchi's requested a trade and was sent to Vancouver in exchange for a 2015 second round pick that the Flames used to select Rasmus Andersson.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, there you go.
All
I
right,
knew
you know
it
what?
was
I take it all
somebody.
back. Thank you, Sven. Thank you, buddy. Good
Thanks.
riddance.
I
Enjoy
knew it was
your retirement.
somebody decent. Like I knew it was somebody decent. I just couldn't remember who it was. And well,
Oh man,
the guy's pretty decent.
tell
That
you
takes
what,
you back, doesn't
I,
it?
I wonder if Jay Feaster is still carrying his luggage. How you love Sven, eh? Like that was the best pick that anybody has ever made in the history of draft picks. Just ask Jay Feaster; he'll tell you. Man, he was pumped about that pick.
Yeah. Oh,
Him
I
and
know. Yeah.
Jankowski. Him and Jankowski.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Jay Feaster.
Oh yeah. God, we sure had our struggles at GM for a while, didn't we?
Oh man, what a world we lived in. Jesus. Oh, that's crazy.
If you would have asked me back in '95 if Craig Conroy would be the answer to be building this team for success, I obviously would have laughed at you. But well, holy shit!
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking the draft pick oracle right now. This guy, he's batting 1,000 right now.
I mean,
He really
I
hasn't
haven't.
missed on anything yet.
Well, I mean, I agree. I do agree with you. But for me, the two signings he did with Mantha and Barry, I could have done without. Mantha has been fun to watch. He's playing really well. So I'll give him less. But Barry, I I don't see a reason to put him on the ice. I
Yeah,
really don't.
the Barry thing never really made sense to me either, to be completely honest with you. Is again, it's another spot that you could give it to a younger guy, right?
I think so. Right, for the amount of defensemen that we had to send back down, you know, not saying they necessarily would have been better or anything like that, but I feel like they just did it the exact opposite to what they said they were going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Right, like when they sign him
that,
to PTO, it's like, okay, PTO. Like, I mean, how often does a
yeah, yeah,
PTO actually turn into a contract? Right, it's not
right.
a lot that I've seen. So I'm like, okay, they're just
Uh,
gonna bring this guy in for whatever reason, and then he's gonna be out the door in a couple of weeks, and that'll be that. And then and then it was like, oh, we're just signing
yeah,
Tyson Berry, and I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah. God damn it! I mean, every
all
time we
right,
do a PTO coming into training camp, my first thought is always that makes sense. We need extra bodies for the split squad games, right?
yeah. Well, remember when they
And
brought
it,
in what's his name on a PTO, and then they traded him to Pittsburgh or whatever, and everybody got bent out of shape about it because he
right.
scored like 4 goals in like the first 2 games. Sonny
Yeah.
Milano.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
So,
everybody was like, "Oh my God, we traded this guy. Oh, well, we gotta have him." And
where is he now? Where is he now?
Where's Sonny Milano now?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, not in
I
the
have no idea.
NHL. I don't even know.
I have no idea where he is.
Nope.
I'm actually legitimately curious.
Tell me he's in the ECHL. He's in the ECHL. He's in some Super League in Europe.
Yeah, he's playing for Washington still.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he's played a game. He's 0 points, -3. Not a bad one game. 5 minutes and 52 seconds of ice time in that stellar effort.
Well, if he can stay on his feet, he'll still be better than Majapani.
I can't believe we let him go. How many comments and stuff did you see last year? It was just like, or it was last year or year before? I don't know, whatever it was. It was just
Year
like,
before, I think so. Yeah.
I can't believe we let him go. Really? Did you watch the preseason at all? He was one of the worst players on the ice, which is hard to do because they had Andrew Mangiapane on the ice.
Honey on the ice. Yeah, exactly.
So I was like,
Exactly.
well, how's he?
Oh, my nephew's gonna see this, and if he sees this, he's gonna be so mad at me for taking shots at Andrew Mangiapane. He loves
Is
it.
he a Breadman fan? Yeah, no, that's
He's
fair.
a big Breadman fan, and I remember when
There's a lot of them out there.
I got him the jersey for Christmas. I was like, like you got a lot of other choices here, right? Like you can get a Kachuk, you could get Gaudreau, you could get You could get anybody else.
Anybody. We can put a retro player on there. Like you tell me.
Anybody.
Anybody.
We'll even put Harvey the Hound on the back of that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? That's how connected we are.
Just put a musical note and a canyon on the back.
Back.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do
My
that.
bad. That was off base. I apologize to
Don't
Flames
even get
fans
me
around the world.
Don't even get me started on George Canyon, okay?
Come on.
I mean, he's good at country music. I just don't think the national anthem is something that he should be doing on the regular.
Fair.
I think there's lots of young artists in Calgary and in Alberta that they could give the opportunity for them to
Just let the kids play.
Maybe George Canyon is George Canyon, man. He's a country star. Everybody knows who George Canyon is. Give somebody else a chance. Let somebody else get some fame, right? Who knows?
Yeah. That's right.
I like when they used to do it. I like when they used to have to fill out the application, whatever, and then do the audition to be the anthem singer, and then every game they bring out somebody different.
Yeah, what was that lady that we had there for years? Sue something.
Oh yeah, she was good. She was real good.
Can't remember her last name. But yeah, she was good. I remember her. She was
she was really good.
God. Does that mean I'm old?
Yeah, a little bit.
I can remember somebody from back then, but I also can't remember the full name because age.
Yeah.
It'll get you. Comes at
you.
Well,
maybe who knows what they'll do with the new arena? Maybe they get somebody else. Whatever. Maybe they'll be like Vegas and Seattle and make a whole spectacle of it and all that other fun stuff.
I don't think we do that in Canada. I mean, they do in Winnipeg, but not in Canada.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Depends on what they do.
Yeah, I guess so.
What they do.
You just do some like holograms and stuff like that, like players, goals, like the opener there. You saw the opener, the Johnny Gaudreau. That was cool. Well, they put the lights from the spots that he scored on the ice. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's kind of stuff I like to see.
Yeah, stuff like that. I do like. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they did a great job in the tribute to Johnny. Obviously, it was not a lot of dry eyes watching that game.
No, definitely not in that
at the bar.
Yep, definitely not in that building. Yeah, no, I was. What was I doing? Oh, I was playing hockey. I was playing beer league hockey, so I didn't see it. I go to get in the car, and I'm like, no, I can't watch this. I got to get home and sit on my couch before I watch this because I'm gonna start crying on the way home, and I'm gonna be in a ditch, or I'm gonna have to pull over and be.
I was gonna say you're gonna get pulled over. You're gonna get pulled over. The officer is gonna look at what's this dude crying about?
Sir, why are you crying? I'm crying about Johnny Gaudreau. What, sir, have you had anything to drink tonight? No. Where are you coming from? Oh, that's a loaded question.
That's right. Swear to God, they're all 0.5s.
That's right. Non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, I got the idea from my good buddy Chris.
Yeah, that's right.
On that note, we took a wild swing there and got right into aftermath of crying yourself to sleep after beer league hockey or however that story went. I can't remember. It's that age thing again.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No, I don't cry myself to bed after beer league hockey. It's hard enough to get to bed. I don't know how hockey players do it. Those guys got to be just jacked up after a game because I know my adrenaline's freaking through the roof.
Yeah, beer league hockey where you get home at 1 o'clock in the morning, can't fall asleep till 3.
Yeah, and then get up for 4. Yeah, fantastic. That's why I didn't go last night.
Fair. Yeah, that's the same as golf, right?
I'm not doing that this week. No, golf's a little bit different. Golf's over by like 7 o'clock. You can't play golf in the dark. Well, you can, but that's okay.
No, I mean, I think it's the you party with the boys till 2-3 in the morning, and then you're up at 6 for the tea time. But you're always happy to get up at 6 for that tea time.
Oh man, when we're not on air, when we're not doing this, I got a funny story to tell you about that because that's just it's out of control.
Good. Save that thought for about 30 seconds. This is where I tell everybody to smash the like button. Make sure you share it with your friends if you can. Give us a follow on Facebook. You can follow Dylan has an account in Reddit, obviously on X for ArmChair GM_pod. Thanks for watching another episode of the Flames. It's been exciting to see how far they can go and keep up with this type of momentum. Till next time, everybody. Thanks for watching. Go Flames. Cheers.
Go Flames, go.